Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday. How quickly the weeks go by. And Janky Bakey, first on the roster there. Good morning, my friend Andrew. Good morning as well. Thank you for coming in so early. Jesus, welcome. Thank you very much, everyone. Looking forward to Friday. It's one of my favorite topics: time management, time efficiency, effectiveness, and statistical success. Join me. It's the time to talk about time. Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Every Friday, you could check out the replay on the playbook. That's right, my podcast, The Playbook. Check it out. All the replays are on there, as well as some other special guests, especially some that we may even have today. So go ahead. You can always email me at david@dmeltzer.com or text me at 949-298-2905. Welcome, everybody, as we're coming in here. Welcome. Let's answer some questions as we are waiting. Let's see who's here. Jen Meltzer, is that there? Do you wear watches? I do wear watches at times, just not today. But I'm wearing my working stiff collar clips, man. Super powerful magnets on these, by the way. Changing the whole face of me wearing these shirts. I was tired of, I don't know if you saw my collar yesterday on my golf shirt. It was awful. So anyway, let's jump on and get some more questions here. Good morning, Colleen. Welcome. All right. What are the keys to developing yourself as the best leader possible? Knowing your own values and living by those. I think it's really important for a leader to live and to lead by their values and stick to them, and be open to changing and being a hypocrite, knowing what you don't know, because we don't know anything according to tomorrow. So, make sure that you know what you don't know, but lead by your values. My values are gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration. And when people are not aligned with that, they're not going to be on my team. That's what I'm trying to do the best that I can. Most surprising person you've interviewed recently? Most surprising person I've interviewed recently? You mean like surprised they're here? Scott Kaplan? I don't know. No, you know what? The Heartwater couple, they're super surprising. It was incredible, the recovery story from being bullied to depression to heroin addicts. The lessons were unbelievable. I like this one. Do you drink cow's milk? I drink all milk. Almond milk, cow's milk, milky milk. I love milk. How do you define the sixth sense? How do I define a sixth sense? It's just awareness. So looking in here, raising your awareness. I'm looking for, there we go, my friend, Jonathan. There we go. See how easy we can do this once we ask? Welcome. Mr. Booze, are you here? There he is.
How you doing?
Oops. We got matching shirts almost. I should have wore a bigger square. Look at that. Yeah. If you guys don't know who Jonathan is, he is the CEO of Working Stiffs. They're a great partner of mine and a great product. I will tell you, Jonathan, wearing these things, there has to be even more things we can do with the super magnet. Like, how did you get that much power into a tiny little magnet?
I tell everyone we order the magnets from Mars.
You know what? A couple of months ago, I wouldn't believe you, but now considering everything that's being released, I think I believe you. Yeah. Did you slip by Area 51 and grab some of it and then make these Working Stiffs type collar stays?
Yeah, I mean, we actually do use like the best of the best when it comes to like the materials. We use like a surgical alloy for the stays, so they're non-corrosive, and it actually makes for a better connection when you use the best, strongest magnets known thus far. But we're always looking to go stronger,
Yeah, no, like my biggest, I've been wearing them a lot, but my biggest fear was, oh great, I'm going to lose these. right? And then it's going to be one side flopping and the other not. And I've kind of purposely tried to lose them and give it, a little bit of the forceful, movement and saying,
Yeah.
okay, if I'm traveling, sleeping on them, what's going to happen? And so far, you're undefeated.
Uh, I appreciate it. That's what I mean. That's what it's all about. But we do a lot of repeat business when you actually do lose that magnet.
Yeah, not a bad thing at all. And as far as growing a business, I know one of the things I love about you is you're a true entrepreneur. You're one of the few people, like, you've come up with the idea, the innovation, and you're the Ray Kroc of your own destiny. Not only did you create the fast, speedy service system, but you've been able to take it to market, monetize it, and now expand it into other areas as well. Through that journey, what was your favorite part?
Oh man, the beginning. That was like really getting in the trenches, learning like how to get things done. There was nothing written out for us at the beginning, so like there was no wrong, right? Because we didn't know what we were doing. When I say we, at the time was my wife and I.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys were driving around in literally your trunk.
Oh yeah, we literally
You're
said,
like the Phil Knight of collar stays. It's amazing.
yeah, it was, we asked for a lot of help, and that was the fun time. It was where you really get to see people helping you. When you ask for it, people genuinely want to help other people, and you just have to ask them for the help. And I think that was the most fun was building something from nothing. Really help getting honest feedback from others, and then really getting the help when needed, because this whole thing came from an honest place. It wasn't like I'm going to build this magnetic collar stay and rule the world. That kind of came later.
Right. Yeah, well, we could figure out how to rule the world with these magnets. I'm telling you, we could. There's a lot of different things that I'm thinking. What other applications you guys have? I know, like, Dop kits, I think, is one of
Yeah,
them.
we used to do many other products. We've kind of focused down on the one product that really kind of resonates with, which are the collar stays. The one product that's kind of like it's gaining a lot of traction are stick and stays. So those are for polo shirts, and they go through over 50 wash and dry cycles. It stays on the shirt, and it's magnetic as well. So if you have a polo shirt or a
Oh,
shirt,
dude, you gotta send me some of those. Are you kidding
I,
me? This is my problem yesterday. I wore this shirt and I looked like the 70s, man. It was just not working at all for me. And I will tell you that, when I first found out about you guys, what really excited me is I'm a carnivore. Like, I want feedback, and everyone, there's a book written by a friend of mine that's it's about yes. It's something like don't be afraid or don't listen to yes or what. He's gonna kill me now, Steven. I apologize, but go check it out. But it's basically don't take yes for an answer. And so, especially when I'm speaking, I hated the fact that, like, everybody lines up to get a signed book and they tell you it's the best speech. And it's the worst thing for speakers because, all it takes is one person to say, you changed my life. You're a great speaker, and you don't realize how much work you have to do and how much better. So one of the first, like, gut wrenching comments that I got from a close friend was, dude, you got to do something about your collar. Like, yeah, like, literally, you're supposed to be this high level, Forbes top 10 speaker, huge corporate guy, and you're in front of all these serious players, and your collar looks like crap. And that's when I found you guys, because I'm like, I got to figure out something better than these, because these are expensive, like Neiman Market shirts, right? Now I buy them on sale. My wife's gonna kill me if I don't say the truth, but, like, I buy them on sale, but they come with the cheapest collar stays in the history of collar stays.
But that's the thing, David. Is I think they come in with these plastic stays that are that's really packaging. People don't realize the collar stays that come in your shirt. That's packaging. That's to keep the collar straight, taken out of the package. After that, you need something else. You need a true collar stay. So we plastic collar stays as well, but they have a magnet embedded in them, and it's a flex back plastic. It's not like the plastic that comes in your shirt whatsoever. But we sell metal as well as the plastic. But I wanted to tell you, like what you're saying, I call those people the true friends. That's when they call you out, that's your true friend. I tell people when I go to stores and show the product, I'm like, tear me apart. I want to hear the good, bad, and ugly, because what that does is it makes you better, and it makes you try to find things that are better, that's out there, do things different and unique. What are the real problems? So, kudos to your friend for telling you your collar looked like crap, and then you come over to work and stiffs.
Yeah, well, it's so true too. I do reviews with interns and employees and midterm reviews, and with the externs and interns, they leave after 90 days. So we give a nice exit interview to learn. And so many are afraid, obviously, to give any type of because they want you to give them recommendations, and they think if somehow they say anything constructive that you're not going to like them, and it's so funny. But my favorite was, I've done trainings for 20 years, right? And it's my mission now. I do virtually thousands and thousands of people register. And my favorite thing is, for years, I've done them in my office, and I buy everybody lunch. And the office got to be too small, and we started having to use other people's office. But my favorite was, after all these years, this one kid, I said, so, do you have any feedback for me? And he said, yeah. I said, what's that? He goes, why don't you give drinks? I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, every Friday you do your training, but you never give anybody any drinks. Is there a reason? And I'm like, yeah, because I never knew that. Right? Because we've been ordering food, but no one's ever said, like, get a case of water and some lemonade and some soda. And so literally, just, this is how businesses do, is if you've been doing it the same way for so long, it's almost worse if it's working, because nobody's looking at the obvious, like, hey, nobody has anything to drink.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because you say that, because that's the thing here, is like, you try to hire people that are, that you're trying to get more knowledge of. Sometimes we're too close to the things that we're doing. It takes an outsider to state the obvious. You're like, I don't know why I wasn't doing that. We had the same kind of thing with coffee. Why don't you guys have coffee? And I was like, oh yeah, why don't we have coffee here?
Another thing too, as you grow, is, employees and overhead. And, what I have found is a lot of people love to look backwards and tell you what they did do, and this is, if you as a leader in your business only worried about what you've already accomplished, you'd be out of business literally tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. And so what they do is they love to go to blame, shame, justification on, oh, way back in January, I did this. I'm like, yeah, but we're going through COVID right now, and I need people to actually do their job now. And so how do you deal with, people who have dedicated themselves to you, have gone ahead and put the effort in, but, for whatever reason, and COVID is a great reason, have lost focus and aren't performing?
Yeah, I think the thing, look, they say unprecedented times. I mean, it's true. I mean, our retail had hit a wall in mid-March. That can deflate a company's morale, right? So it's like, how do you keep people interested and moving forward when you have a lot more obstacles, and a lot of obstacles that you didn't know were going to come up, right? So I think as leaders, you try to look forward, right? You look past, what's the world going to look like when retail does get back in the business? What can we do today to help our partners? That's kind of what we've done. We are really, our stores are strong partners for us. Like, we try to partner with them in a major way, even though we are, you could say, well, you have a small item, it's an accessory. But what we try to do is, like, unlock our inventory, unlock our back end, our logistics for our retail stores that are suffering. And I think it becomes a win-win. And then that brings up morale internally, because you're doing something different. You're doing something new. Let's not focus on the negatives. What can we do as a positive to help others? And I think that's kind of, like I said before, it's like, we were helped at the beginning, and that help was very beneficial. It was timely. So now it's time to turn and help others, and that's kind of what we do internally. Those that are we've had some setbacks here, and a lot of my employees are, they'll say to me, they're like, why, you don't focus on the money. I really feel like money's a byproduct. We have a great product. We have great people. We have the processes. This is a blip in time. So it's really rise up to the occasion. It's not all about the almighty dollar. The money comes in. You know, we have had a, you know, financial hit here. I'm not going to lie to anyone and say, oh no, everything's like, you know, roses and, you know, rainbows and unicorns. But if we focused on that stuff, and as a leader, if you focus on that stuff, you're going to bring your company down. You have to get beyond that and find the positives and focus on that. You know, so that's what we do here.
Perfect. And how do you break down, as far as, you know, for me, I look at things as pre-vaccine and post-vaccine, because I find it hard to find any stability until we have a vaccine. So until then, I have to have a strategy based on flexibility, adaptation, a variety of other things that may happen. How are you looking at the transition through what's going on with retailers right now? And when do you think there'll be a stable environment that you can base, you know, real prime decision making off of?
So yeah, that's good question. And that's why you get paid the big bucks.
If I don't get one person saying good question a day, we're in trouble.
You know, you're so pre and post. I think for us, like we started doing drop shipping. Okay, so I was against drop shipping. We did drop shipping years ago. I won't go too lengthy of whys, the whys and why nots, but we really see now today the retail landscape is changing 100%. I mean, it might sound cliche, but it is. And we know that there's not going to be as many brick and mortar stores standing as there were before COVID. You see some of these things in the news. You see that retailers aren't, I mean, they're starting to order as the stores are opening. We are seeing more and more orders in store. But it's going to be a fundamental fact that these guys are going to probably make their footprint a little smaller, a little leaner, a little meaner going through this COVID process. So I'm speculating, you know, for holiday. I think if there's, you know, depending on what COVID does and what's going on there, but it seems promising by October, November, I think retail is going to be coming back and swinging back. We prepare for the worst, you know, as far as it mentally, like I'll say, well, you know, I'm not expecting another order till 2021, knowing in fact that for that. But we're seeing some, you know, we're actually seeing some improvements. I think this has lasted for us personally a little longer than we thought. But we also have to remember there's other industries out there that are worse off than us, right? You look at the restaurant and bars and all these things that are happening to these small businesses, and it's sad. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, it's just it's upsetting to see. But we know that things are going to be different after COVID. They have to be different. And how do we adapt to the differences? And again, for us right now, you know, so that people don't have to lock their money up into inventory, it's getting back to doing drop shipping for stores. And it's actually been a lifeline to many of our stores that, you know, we don't make up a big portion of a store's revenue on our own, but we are an accessory that adds value to the order. So we're a big value add, and average order value goes up with us. Where, you know, they say the UPTs, units per transaction. We're all that. We're all that extra stuff that actually means something as a whole, maybe not individually. So those are some of the things that we're doing in here and trying to play with different programs and really kind of incite and spark up our store business. We don't do many sales, David. Like right now we have a 25% off on our website for our direct to consumers. And we're also doing an incentive for our wholesale stores as well, just to kind of help stimulate something, do our part in all this, you know.
That's awesome. Last question real quick. So, you know, I know your start to success is one of a rocky journey full of many, many challenges. And I really want to impress upon people how important it is not to quit. So I'd love, Jonathan, for you to give us your advice on when things seem really, really tough, when you are looking at it going, what am I doing? You know, what was it, or what should we as a mindset or a heart set think about in order just to continue on and to find that light at the end of the tunnel?
I really, David, I think you have to find that you make a difference, right? I mean, like if you look at us on the surface, you can say, "Oh, Working Stiffs is a collar state company." We look internally like we're an appearance improvement company.
Look at me.
And feel better about yourself, you know. And I think that's important. You got to do these little things for yourself, for your personal being, to make yourself feel better. And I think that's kind of some of the stuff with COVID is people got, you know, very comfortable quickly into t-shirts and pajamas. So you got to do things that you got to get back into the business mindset. What was the purpose you started your company for, or your product, and look beyond, look towards the future. Even if it was pre-COVID, as a business owner, as a leader, you got to keep looking to the future of what the future of your company is going to be. These people have, you had the Great Depression, we had 9/11, you had all these things happen in these companies, and they were able to survive after it. And the reason why most of these people, if you listen to them and hear them, is because they understand that was a moment in time, but they look beyond that, right? And they look at what the real core, why are they doing what they're doing. Stay focused on that. What made you start the business in the first place? Where are you going to help others? And that'll keep your eyes on the future of your company, and it'll actually make it, you'll look back and go, yeah, we were able to survive that, and look how stronger we came out after it.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Allowing things to come through you for other, remind yourself why and who you're doing it for. Absolutely great advice. I certainly appreciate, especially the super stays, I call them, with the power. My mind is always spinning on how I can use this magnet for something else. And when I find it, you're my man. I've got an immediate partnership with you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to do that. And I'll get some stick and stays out to you.
Yeah, please. I'm a huge, my golf shirts look like crap. So help me out on that end as well. So thank you. And I got more golf shirts and hats than anybody. So thank you so much.
We'll get you stocked up. Thank you.
You got it, man. Jonathan Booz here, Working Stiffs. Check them out. Obviously, great product. You can tell I'm wearing them. Thank you, buddy. Take care.
Awesome.
Bye-bye. I didn't even know they had them for golf shirts. That's awesome. Yeah, my golf shirt looked like crap yesterday. I don't know if you saw the collar. I look like John Travolta in the Bee Gees Night Fever there. But anyways, Michael Radin, how are you? Tell us about this Friday's training, Dave. It's right pinned below. Time management, we got it 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Go ahead and email me, david@dmeltzer.com, if you want a free book, free guides. You want to try out for my pitch competition on July 24th. You can win a free coaching sessions with me anytime. Go ahead, just david@dmeltzer.com, or join me on my text, 949-298-2905. Looking forward to seeing everyone. Let's see what questions we have. They're loading up in here. How do you define the fine line between determination and obsession? Well, that's so interesting, right? Like, I think that obsession means that you don't have control of stopping. I think determination has the same motivation and inspiration that obsession has, except for you can stop and take vacation every day, spend time with your family, eat. You can say no, and you can balance. So the only difference between obsession and determination is the ability to stop. Good question. I don't think anyone's ever asked me that. I like when that happens. You always talk about surrounding yourself with the people whose shoes you want to be in. Surrounding yourself with people who sit in the situation you want to be in. Yeah. Who's currently sitting in the situation that I want to be in? Cuts off, I assume. Several Dave McCord, someone who sits in a situation that I'm learning from, of how to rethink things. John Asseroff, not only on the Law of Goya, but the inner size, the development of muscular mental fatigue and muscular mental fitness. All of those guys, of course, always blame Bartlett. I mentioned Dr. Gladys yesterday, my 100-year-old dearest friend who created holistic medicine here in the United States. People like that, there's tons of them, and always Wayne Dyer, as well as I read in the virtual sense, Einstein. Whose mentors you, ATM, Dave? All right, let's see here. How do you be more interested than interesting? Ask one more question. If you want to practice being more interested than interesting, then just ask one more question. Yeah, every time you think you're done, just ask one more question. Take one more step, do one more rep, whatever it is. You want to be more interested than interesting, then ask and continue to find out more, delve a little deeper. Every time you do, what a great habit it will create for yourself. You'll be making room for what you want which is extraordinary. So let's keep it moving here. How much time do you put towards planning your weeks and days? So every day, I study my calendar twice a day. I have two study periods. One's 5:30 to 6:30 a.m. The other is 7:30 to 9 p.m. And those are the times where I study. Studying to me means paying attention to, raising my awareness, what other people say, looking at, and giving intention to what I think, say, do, believe in that planning, even maybe articulating my own quantum memory in it. But what I give attention plus intention are the coincidences I want. What is the difference between giving up and moving on? Oh, that's easy. Giving up is not moving on. That's easy, right? So you're always moving on. You're always expanding, growing, accelerating. You are more than happy and should be encouraged to be a hypocrite and to change your mind and to evolve and pivot and give yourself permission to change and grow and all of those things. But quitting is stopping. It's lying on your mom's couch high, drunk, sick, dreaming about what you want instead of putting the law of Goya into effect, getting off your ass and doing it. So giving up is not moving on. I'm always moving on. Moving, knowing pain is an indicator. So I'm moving in a different direction when I experience pain. It's an indicator that I have a lesson to learn, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial lesson to learn. Do you believe in going to college or saving that money and starting a business in today's world? That just depends, depends on what you want to do. I would not go deep into debt to go to school, but investing in yourself is the best thing that you can invest in. And if there's relationship capital that you can gather by going to school, if your experiential values are high, there's a variety of reasons. So I am, all for both, determinative upon your own personal experiential giving and receiving values aligned with what type of debt you may or may not have to go into. My personal values are, if you don't have to go into any debt, man, you should spend as much time in school as you can. There's no better place. Imagine, what do you get to do? Hang out, learn, be around all your friends, party, all that stuff. Who wouldn't want to go to college, especially if you don't have to go into debt? There's always enough time to start a business. You can always build those relationships. Anyway, do you have recommendations to find an angel investor? Of course, you got to ask. Do you know anybody that can help me in person, on the phone, via email and media, radio, print, TV? Make sure you have a credible ask, that you have emotional attachment, that you're capable of articulating and quantifying the reason somebody should invest in you, the impact that you're going to have, and the capabilities that you have. And if you're able to articulate those to a point where you can ask someone very confidently in the right energy, do you see any reason you won't want to move forward? Then you're ready to speak to an angel investor. You're ready to get financed. How does one with only $2,000 flip it? Find something to buy for $2,000 that you can sell for $4,000. Reverse engineer it. Go find something that sells all day long at $4,000 and then go offer people $2,000 for it. And somebody will take it, and then go ahead and flip it for 4,000, and then do the same for 6, 8, 10. Build your way up. That's with anything. That's what I did with the car deal until I screwed it up. David, what are some of the things a 24-year-old should be focusing in on? Your skill, your capabilities. So you should be focusing in on developing your skills, developing your knowledge, asking for help, and growing and maintaining your desire that you must be what you can be, working on your radical humility. But capabilities, especially now, is always what we should be working on, accelerating, growing, etc. Looking good there. Anyways, any tips for sales? Yeah, tip for sales, 5 steps in selling. Number 1, stimulate interest. Do not sell, but stimulate interest. Stimulating interest is getting somebody the 80% of the opportunities that nobody gets to call you back. So focus in on increasing your numbers on the top of your funnel by getting people to call you back, by understanding I have one objective, that's to stimulate interest, then work on transitioning that interest through proper data, collateral materials, the ability to articulate the quantification of the reasons, impacts, and capabilities, and then learn to share a vision, create a go no go plan in order to effectuate managing and developing that vision so it thrives. So there's 5 tips in order to sell as you go forward from there. Let's see here. If you could go back in time and change one thing, what would it be? Oh, huh. If I go back and change one thing. I got to think about that. Probably if I could go back and change one thing, I would. I don't know what I would change yet. It would be something historical way back when to give enlightenment to people of you know of maybe the existence of Jesus Christ or not. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. How do I get rich, David? Make more money, help more people, and have more fun. That's a easy way to get rich, by being of service and of value to others and making room for what you want. Let's see here. What is more important, word meaning or word etymology? Well, they're both closely tied to each other. And so, you give meaning to everything you see. Everything around you is what you've intended to be. So the etymology of a word would carry its energy as well as its intent. But, you give meaning to it. So I think more importantly is, what meaning and etymology do you give to the words that you speak, that you hear, that you act upon? That would be the bigger question that I would ask. Let's see here. What advice would you have for 2 people in a relationship who have different goals? What advice would you have for 2 people in a relationship who have different goals? Support each other. So absolutely support each other. We don't all have to have the same goals, and looking forward to that. And it's a hard thing to learn, to find the superpowers and the differences, and that we realize that other people's weaknesses move to a different direction is a strength, and our weaknesses can be complemented and synergistic or supplementary to the other people's strength, and that's what make us all a whole. All of these are complete complementary things that go into that. I keep on seeing, you said Kelly is here. I can't find Kelly. Let me see here. I'll look in the thing. Go here. Do not see Kelly in here. I apologize. Kelly, if you're here, I want to go live with you. I saw maybe Blaine said you're here, but I do not see your name. I apologize. You should be sent a request, or no? I apologize, Blaine. I do not see Kelly. You said she's here, but I don't see her. Anyway, I apologize, everybody. Let's get back to questions. And getting on there until I see Kelly joining us here. Sorry, I'm working through all of these. There she is, Kelly Marlowe. All right. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Friday's training is on time management. It's 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Just go ahead and email me, david@dmeltzer.com, or text me, 949-298-2905. Looking forward to it. And waiting here for Kelly. 1, 2, 3. Anyway, welcome, everybody. Let's see any other questions we have. I'm waiting. It's trying to connect. Do not know what's going on. Anyways, Friday's training is on time management, effective, efficient, and statistically successful, using time to your benefit of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude. It's always Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, but if you miss it, just check us out on the playbook. It's on YouTube. It's on every one of my podcasts. You can go ahead and register at 949-298-2905, or email me, where you can get a free book or training guides, or join my pitch competition at david@dmeltzer.com. For whatever reason, we are trying here. Kelly, I'll try it once again to join you. We'll give it once again. All right. Here we go. It always works. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I like that background. That's
Oh,
awesome.
thanks. It's of a library in Italy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I don't know why I'm so much bigger now, but I am.
I just have the
Must be
the
your
shade
camera.
behind me.
Yeah.
You have the elegant backdrop. Anyways,
Yeah.
thank you for joining me. I'd love to hear
Oh,
what you have going on, Kelly.
oh, I love it. I am doing an episode on authoring your bestseller during the pandemic this week.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And where can people find that?
People can find that on Spark Conversations on, well, spark-conversations.com. And it also airs on KXSF FM in San Francisco on Thursdays at 12 p.m.
Nice. And
Yeah.
through this time, content obviously has changed in its format, changed in its distribution and its promotion. Obviously, you've had great success with a lot of different content and film festivals and other things, and working in the same realm as me in wellness and health and happiness. What are some of the advantages that you have found during this time of creating quality content and distributing it and marketing it?
I think it depends on how you look at everything, right? If you look through the lens of fear, you're going to find fear everywhere. And that's where you see a lot of negative media coverage. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you want to read that and just increase your fear every day? I mean, that's just not going to be very supportive and helpful in what you're trying to do. So I focus on how can we see opportunity, right, during this time. And if you see through the lens of opportunity, you're going to find opportunity. So, for example, this is the best time to write your book. You have, and you have a lot of support online. There's a lot of tutorials. There's a lot of, I want to say, discounted classes and people who want to be there to help you during this time. So it's so easy to take advantage of that, right? And it's the best time to think about where you are in your career, for example. You may realize that you don't have a lot of time during this pandemic, that life is short. And it's a great time to say, hey, am I really doing what I want to be doing? If not, maybe I need to upskill to jump to the next career level that I want to be at, right? And there's so many courses that are discounted online right now to be able to do that. So while you're sheltering in place, you could be taking classes that will help to get to the next level where you want to be. Also, you can completely reskill what you're doing and just completely do something else. And it's all there. All the resources are there. But if you see it through the lens of opportunity, you will find them. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I think the beauty as well, considering time, is that when we're utilizing time, it's difficult to realize how we should be utilizing time. And when we are allowed to have this pause and say, how am I utilizing my time? What would be the best use of my time? Or even to take inventory of our values. A lot of people have gone decades without taking an introspective look on what's important to me and how could I be most efficient, effective, and statistically successful with what I want, or determining, with what's going on when things are taken away from us, that we may have put an artificial value upon. When it's taken away, we start realizing, wow, those were golden handcuffs, or these were things that I misconceived or perceived into something that had far less value in my life. What are some of the things for you, being an expert in the space, that you found have changed in your value perception?
Mm. I think I appreciate the smaller things, right, that I didn't have time for before because I was in such a rush to get from one place to another. And now it's like I'm just happy to sit in the sun. I'm happy to see a warm smile because you don't see people as often now. So it's just nice to even see you, David, smiling. So, you just appreciate the little things in life that you take for granted when you're in a hurry and going 200 miles per hour. And so it's like, I feel like now the sheltering in place is like making me ask myself what's really meaningful that I didn't have time to really give myself to appreciate before.
Do you find that you had even overlooked human existence itself as far as taking for granted your own existence? Was that something that you contemplated?
Yes, I mean, I would say, I always was focused on the next goal, right? And now I'm kind of taking context the fact that I have time to really focus on what is meaningful because what else am I going to do? I can't go anywhere.
Yeah. And do you see, when you're able to go other places, that you will go as many places as you went before? Or have you found a peace in happiness in staying still?
I think what I realized is that, it's all how you want to look at things. You can reframe it as this is the time where, what's that project that's going to feed my soul, right? And really, I have had all these excuses of not doing it because I was too busy. And now it's like I'm forced to really ask myself, what am I going to do with my time inside? And this is the time where you could be feeding your soul. You could be, really focusing on where you want to be when the pandemic is over. So if you look at it that way, it's like your life is filled with opportunities every day because there's so much to do if that's what you're focused on. So I think
And
from
what
that
I,
standpoint, yeah.
go ahead. I was gonna say
From
what
that
opportunity.
standpoint, yeah, there's so much like writing a book. You can
Yeah.
write that book that's in you right now. And everyone has a story, and everyone has that unique story, that no one else has, right? So this is the perfect time to author that book that is for you. Like you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for anyone else. And if it happened to resonate with other people, even better, right? Because like you realize there are other people who feel or think like you do. So that was something that was very inspirational for me to do this week, was focus on this episode, because I realized that every person has a story to share.
Yeah.
And it's like getting excited about it, right? And really actually sitting down and doing it.
Yeah, I think finding that frequency, knowing what lessons you've learned, and the stories that have evolved to teach those lessons is something, as I coach people, that I really try to get them to focus in on, is that we all are an aggregate of those experiences and that have formulated our values. But if we can't share the lessons that we've learned, because life to me is only about lessons, right? The lessons will keep on coming till we learn them. I always say pain is an indicator that we have a lesson to learn. That's all it is. And when you're encouraging people to tell their story, right, to share with themselves their story. And I think it's funny when people say, well, whether or not it resonates with someone else, because we have access to so many people, your story's going to resonate with someone. There's people, I joke around, but literally have millions of subscribers because they paint their toenails in a certain way. And if there's an audience and that resonates with people, I promise you the lessons in your stories of your life, or the shared lessons or the amalgamated lessons and stories that you have, or the made up lessons and stories, which are all fine things to do with your time right now, to share and to teach and to inspire. That to me is the real blessing that we found within this stillness and within this pause. What's next for you as far as opportunities?
What's next for me? So I have various themes that I'm focused on. So one of my themes is innovation. So what's the intersection of social impact and innovation, right? Because we really have to trust our own judgment and not leave it to technology to make those decisions for us. So I think that's an important theme that I always focus on. It's like, sure, artificial intelligence, great, but who's making the decision? Algorithms or, us, as humanity is deciding what's best for us, right?
And how's the monetization of that intertwined? So a lot of times when people talk about social impact of innovation, they forget to take in account for the monetization of what is actually being created, and whether they waste a ton of time, money, resources on theoretical things that have maybe a theoretical impact compared to something that actually can be executed on, monetized, and may not have as big of a social impact but can have a huge economic impact, which then can create greater social impact.
So I think the perfect example is the 2016 election. There was so much analytics applied to it. They were able to know who to influence and how to turn the decision in that process, right? And that's what everyone's focused on in this election, is how we're going to reach those people and influence their decision making. So when you think about that, it's incredibly powerful how you can reach people and how you can influence their decision making, which is great. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, why are we doing this? And is this for the good of humanity or not, right? So these are questions that people have to be asking rather than AI being the decision maker or artificial
Yeah,
intelligence
well,
basically dominating and dictating what direction you're going to go, right? So that's like part of the theme where I'm asking, where's humanity in all this? Who's setting the standards of who's in control, who's making the decisions that's best for all of us, right? From that standpoint. And then there's the theme of inspiration, which you're part of, right? You know, you're offering free trainings to get people into the mindset every day. And you're always there every day for them, right? And, oh, and
Yeah,
then
we
I have
tried
a
to be.
great episode.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then on the mindset ship, I have a great episode on awe, the power of awe. Did you know there's science behind the power of awe, where
No, man. There's
it
science behind
promotes.
everything, so I don't doubt it.
But what if I told you it promotes pro-social behavior? People are more generous after they experience awe. Or let's say you're in the forest, you see these magnificent trees, you're more likely to help people because you're feeling the sense of like, you know, spiritual connection or something greater than you that you're like, wow. And so you stop thinking about yourself for that moment.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I know that when you're in awe, you clear that interference and corrosion between that most powerful source of light, love, and lessons. That for me, the feeling of awe is like a heightened awareness, a closer, a higher vibration of frequency. So anytime that we're in that pursuit of a higher frequency, a better feeling, we're going to have, you know, better activities, better actions, focus, balance in our life. So but I'm mostly in awe of all the things that you're doing as well. I appreciate you coming on and sharing. Where can everybody find you?
Oh, I think the best way to find me is I'm not like you, David, everywhere.
Who is? Thank God.
Yeah. So the best place to find me is spark-conversations.com, and all the podcasts are there. But I just want to say the science. Now you've been talking about awe and the spiritual connection, something greater than you. Now there's science behind it. So that's what's exciting.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. Check it out and have a wonderful day. Stay in awe and happy. Kelly, thank you very much for joining us. All right, everyone. You can see where we're going with this. Trainings are so important to give yourself a sense of awe, to understand time, the universe, 11 a.m. Pacific, every single Friday. If you don't get there on time, go ahead and watch the replay on the playbook or on YouTube. It doesn't matter. You can text me anytime, 949-298-2905. You can email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I'm here to be of service. Free book, free training. We have a pitch competition July 24th. You can join. Come on, reach out, grab your friends. Let's have some fun together. I'm going to answer one more question, and then we're going to move on to the second half of the week. What do you think about that? All right. Do you think people would go back to doing things they used to do? Some, right? Why wouldn't they? I'm going to go back to doing some of them. I might not do them the same way. I might not do them as often, but I definitely want to go back and do some of the things that I used to do and just take the lessons that I've learned and be the hypocrite that I am and use my values in order to effectuate productivity, accessibility, and gratitude to help other people, to be of service and of value, and to ask for help. All of those great things that help us all be happy. And that's what this is all about. That's what training's about, to help you use time to be happy, to help you be efficient, effective, and statistically successful in the what you want. And it'll just enhance your why. It's been a pleasure as always. I appreciate all my guests. Jonathan Booz, these things still incredible. And I'm going to get some for some golf shirts with the working stiff guys. I appreciate Jonathan so much. Kelly, thank you for joining me as well. Everyone else that joins me, I'll be here every day, 8 a.m. As you know, and Friday trainings, get your family, friends, associates, all to join us. Let's build a collective consciousness of happiness. If you get it on live, that'd be great. If you get it on replay, that'd be fine as well. Anyway, most importantly, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.